Welcome to mypersonalfootballcoach.com's Soccer Player Development Podcast. Discover all the secrets, hints and tips about soccer player development and soccer coaching from some of the leading figures in world soccer. Here's your host, Saul Isaacson-Hurst.
Hi guys, welcome back to another show. Before we get into this week's guest, I've got a big announcement. Really proud to announce the launch of the My Personal Football Coach Level 2 e-learning course. Now, this is the only type of this course in the world, really focusing on ball mastery and 1v1. So we really look at the 1v1 tactics and skills used around all the pitch and really break those down into detail about one, what the details are, and then two, how to coach them. Also look about ball mastery, how to create quality ball mastery sessions in terms of what the core skills are, the key core skills I always talk about, how to coach them, and then how to structure your sessions in terms of individual work and also working in pairs and small groups. And that passive pressure work, and also those 1v1 sessions, lots of different 1v1 sessions in terms of session design, breaking down the De Jong and Mbappe work. So we've changed the Zidane and Hazard work, the Ronaldo and Hazard work into De Jong and Mbappe, and breaking those down. So it's really about delivering the detail. So if you're a coach who wants to work at a high level, or you're a parent of a young aspiring footballer, you just want to improve your knowledge about these really key areas, the My Personal Football Coach Level 2 course is now live. Put the information down in the link to this, and then the information of wherever you're viewing or listening to your podcast. And also I'm doing a special promotion, 20% discount for a very limited time for anyone who's interested in this course. Type in the course code, the promotional code Level 2 podcast, all one word, Level 2 podcast, and you get 20% off. Now this is limited as well. And like I say, nothing else like this in the world in terms of breaking down 1v1 tactics, 1v1 skills, individual ball mastery and session design as well. And also there's lots of exclusive sessions in there by myself, which you're not going to see anywhere else as well. So check out the new Level 2 course, go to mypersonalfootballcoach.com coaching, and then go to the coaching courses, or just follow the link in the blurb to this podcast. But now into the show, and really privileged, got Oliver Schoepp. He's an academy coach at Borussia Mönchengladbach. I always like getting coaches from different countries, and particularly, from the continent on the show, to find out what goes on in those academies. And we really talk about what goes on at Borussia, the German coaching culture. Interesting talking as well about that myth about, unopposed work doesn't go on or doesn't work. And obviously, like most academies, as academy coaches will tell you, it's a great mix of unopposed work and opposed and game-based work and that sort of thing, having that balance. But interesting as well, they really focus on that 1v1 and ball mastery, which is a real key part of that, the coaching culture there at his club and also in Germany. So good to see as well that 1v1 and ball mastery work going on. And interesting as well, talking about the coaching licenses in Germany, how the B+ license is really focused on technique. And again, a contrast to what is happening here in the English FA, which of course is here are great as well, but just maybe not as technically based as they used to. But like I say, a real interesting hour or so chat with Oliver. Really privileged he came into the show. And without further ado, let's get into the show. Oliver Schoepp, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, mate. Yeah, look, the first question is always the same. Give us an idea of your coaching and your playing journey up to this point, just briefly.
Yeah, I started at my home club with the under 19. It was like I was lifted up to the senior team, and my friends just had to stay in the under 19, and they asked me if I would be their coach, because the year before I have been their captain, and then they asked me to be their coach because they didn't found one. And so I told them, let me think about it, and I've never been a coach before. So after a few days I said, okay, I will do it. And I did this for a season, and then I moved on and went to Borussia, started at the soccer school, the football school, football school, and then went to the academy and coached the under 9 up to under 13.
Wow. So you've been in the academy for 9 years, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so what age groups have you coached, particularly under 9s? What other age groups have you done?
I started with the under 9 and under 10 as an assistant coach, and then moved on as a head coach of under 9 and went up with my team up to under 13. and then make a turn back because we have a rotation in the under 12 and under 13 that we go for 2 years. And then I stayed with another team for under 12 and under 13. And now I'm back in the under 12 and go with the next team and do the step again.
Wow. So tell us about that. You talked about your first coaching job. You were offered the role at this team. How did you never coached before? So how did you create your own coaching methodology?
Yeah, I was very happy that I had a coach at this time who was very structured and had a good periodization of how to coach a senior team. And he was my first, I would say, mentor. Is it good?
Yes, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, he was my first mentor, and I talked a lot with him, and we talked about how to develop children, kids, or teenagers, and yeah, even football players to make them better. And this was the start of my career. So I thought about what can I do to make my friends even better and help them, that we can play next year in the same team, so they can come to me. And yeah, this was the start that I go in talks with other coaches and start to read in the internet and take some and bought some books to find out what the coaches are doing and what is a periodization about, and what are the exercise which are most effective for the players. So this was my first steps.
Give us an idea then. What was a typical session, the first session you were doing with that men's team? What would a typical session look like?
With this, an under 19 team, my first team?
Yeah, the under 19 or first team, that first coaching job you had.
Yeah, it was like, I start very simple. We start always with the ball, and I was a player at the same time, and I hate doing things without a ball. So we start by passing the ball, making some passing drills, go for dribble competitions, and yeah, then we go out with kind of rondos and small-sided games like 5v5, 6v6, 6v6, and then we go for a final game. And this was a very low level, and I did not play that high in the youth. So I could do it in different ways, but always had the structure to go by passing drills, go over to dribble competitions, like to go on with the small-sided games, and then with the final game.
Yeah. And tell us about then your coach education. When did that start with the German FA? And tell us a little bit about those courses. What sort of stuff are they teaching in Germany?
Yeah, I decided to go on with the soccer school of football school of Borussia, and then go to the academy. And then I started to do my licenses. It was like a C license, B license, and then in Germany they always switch the licenses like they switch their shoes, and every year there's a new license. And for now I have the B+ license. So my next goal is to reach out the A+ license, because the A license is just focused on the senior football, and I want to go on with the youth license, and this is the next step. The next step would be the A+ license. So
but the A+ focuses on youth.
Yes, it is. Yeah, for the higher youth level.
Yeah, in England we have the advanced youth license. That's what we have here, and that sits alongside the A license. Yeah, interesting. So tell us about the B+ license. What sort of, I'm interested in what's the German FA coaching methodology for young players.
Yeah, it is the most things we learned about at the B+ license was about technique. It's all about how to pass, how to dribble. Just give me a moment. I just looking for the word. Yeah, so maybe it deals with the right position of the body, right position of the foot, and that you give the passer a signature, so that the passing receiver knows what to do. it's all about this small stuff that you are going to create some exercise for the kids, that they have a really high repetition, but not in the same way always, so that the opponent is not coming from the right side always, just coming from the left side, that you have that we have tasks, they are changing, but they are just in the same way. So I don't know how to explain it.
So like variation, you have like
you have a high variation in this in the same area or same square.
It's interesting because English FA used to be like that, and then the last 5-10 years or so they went away, and now they're doing much more things about session design and game-based training, where I think there's a massive problem where they don't emphasize, they don't teach the technical details like you're talking about, which is really important, particularly in academy football. And they've gone more into like game-based and organizational stuff, which is really important as well. But I think there's a real information gap. You know, we don't teach the coaches anymore what the technical details to teach our players.
For sure, but the big topic is individualized.
Visualized, yeah.
Yes, it's all about in Germany at this time, and I think it's a really good thing that we are thinking about this. We are not having. I have very good players in my academy and in my team, but they are not ready. So, and I don't have to talk about pass the ball over there and then the whole team is going to do like this. It's just about train on the basics, and this is very important for me, and I like the way the German Football Association is thinking about this and is going to take this topic to the coaches. Yes.
How long did that B plus license take?
It was about, so you go for the first week, you are 7 days there, and then you go home to your team, to your club, and try to bring this input to your team and record the sessions for another week or maybe 2, and then you come back for another week to the association, and then you have it was like a what is it in English? One moment. You have like an exam.
Assessment,
assessment, yes.
Interesting.
Where you will be on the pitch and even on the school bench.
Yeah, interesting. So then tell us about your first role at Borussia. You start in the soccer schools with the young players. What was that like then for yourself as a coach? You're more used to, your previous experience had been with the elder players. Tell us about those first experiences and what were the main things you learned initially?
I learned it after the first session I had with the academy team, that this is a totally different world. So we get kids from other clubs which are not pro clubs, and they are playing on their home team, and this is all about to creating a good atmosphere and creating an atmosphere where they just have the whole time competitions, where they are always motivated, and you always have to be very emotional at that training sessions, and they are not that much intrinsic like the players in the academy. So you are much more asked as a coach to be much more outcoming and go and motivate them and be very emotional, have a lot of competition in the training that you
so tell us about that, the organization, that soccer school was basically, what was the purpose of it? So you're bringing in lots of different players is it recruitment exercise to identify good players, or was it more they just come in and have fun, and what was the purpose?
It's kind of recruitment. We use it as a recruitment because we have a camp every week in the holidays, and when you have 6-week holiday, you have over 700 kids here. So we would be a bit of silly if we don't use it as a
right. But it's mainly as
but the
a
mainly
money
thing
making,
is,
making money
it's
for the club.
just
Yeah,
making
same
fun,
here.
have a good time with the
And
kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so then tell us about your transition to the academy. How did that come about from moving from the soccer school into the academy?
Yeah, I worked with the coach of the under-9 together in the soccer school, and he was my my head coach in the soccer school. And then he asked me if I can imagine to switch to the academy in the summer, because there is an assistant coach leaving, and his position is not being seated. So if I just want to make this experience and want to join, he would be very happy. And he asked me, and I was totally happy. And this is my club for my so for the whole time of my life. I went here with my uncle and go to the stadium and watch the games. And this was the way to the academy for me. So I've been very happy that he was asked me, and this was my door which opened. Yes.
Tell us then, what were your first impressions of the academy when you went into it?
It is a bit impressive. So when you come like me from a very small club, and it was like we didn't had a pitch of grass and synthetic grass. It was like in it's on kind of ash, like
yeah, I understand. Yeah.
And so I just had to find my role in the club, and was very shy and just saying yes to everything. And if he wants me to do this, for sure I do it. And was a young guy with 22 years, and yeah, it was a bit impressive for me to join just a big such a big club.
And so tell us about then, in terms of the sessions, what did you notice about the sessions? Give us an idea of those. What did an under-9 session look like at the time there at Borussia?
Oh, at that time it was yeah, I will not say quite the same as today, but it was all about giving every player a ball and just having very much 1v1s, very much trainings of making decisions. And yeah, it was not like that individualizing like today, but they just focus that every player is having a ball and have a high repetition with the ball and high repetition with the actions and making decisions. So it was so for now, I guess we are a few steps further. It's good that I say that. And but it was for me, it was very interesting at the first time. Yes.
And what are the main challenges for yourself as a young coach going into that environment, and then when you start delivering yourself in those sessions?
I guess to find my self-confidence, that I can say, okay, here I am, and I'm the coach, and I will tell you what to do. Because I always had this thought on my mind, okay, who I am. I'm coming from a very small club, and don't have this
Experience.
Yeah, like them. And the parents are looking at you every training sessions. They bring their boys to our academy and just want to see your very best. And if there is some exercise which is not working out, maybe they say, oh, what a bad coach. And this was the most thing I was struggling about at the first time. But it was just a few times at the beginning. So it was like after a few months, I came on the pitch and was very, very self-confident, and didn't feel like someone is thinking that I do not give my very best to develop their boys.
So tell us then, you said the club's moved forward. Let's talk about the methodology of the club and the structure. So tell us about the academy. How is it structured? So for instance, in England, we have the foundation phase, which is normally 8s to 11s or 8s to 12s. Then we have the youth development phase, 12 to 16s, and then the pro development phase, 17s to 23s, that sort of thing. How is it structured there, your club or in Germany?
Yeah, we have totally the same. We start with the under 9 up to under 11, the foundation phase, and then moved on from the under 12 up to under 16. What was your
pro development phase, which is like 17 to
it's like this, and then we go up with the under 19, under 23, with the
and tell us about then the methodology of the foundation phase. Tell us a little about that. What is what are the desired outcomes and what sort of things are you looking for in delivering?
The most important thing is about have a view on the very single player. So we build up a team with the under 9 or under 10, like under 11, but it's not about bring out a very good result on every tournament or every match we are going to play. It's just about to say, okay, our task is to bring the single player in his next steps, on his next level, and we are going to create a map, like a digital map where we can have all his strengths, all his weakness. We are going to work with 2 teams together on one day, so we have more coaches for the single player, and the single player is coached by more coaches, and we have a more so we have a better view on the skills of the player, and we bring all these opinions of our coaches together and try to bring out the things we have to do with the single player.
And so how many under 9s do you have typically? How many will you sign in one season?
Not more than 10 players.
Okay. And then what's the format they play on the weekends? How many aside do they play? 7 aside, 6 aside?
This is different. So we have the big advantage that we are very close to the Netherlands and Belgium, and they play other games like us. So in German we play 7v7, but when we go to Belgium or like Netherlands, we can play 5v5, 6v6. It's a high variation for the guys and not always the same.
Interesting. And so on the weekend, do they play competitive fixtures against other German teams? Is it like a league where you play and you win and you go, who's the top of the league, who's bottom, that sort of thing? Is it competitive, or is it just friendlies?
No, we had this competitive league from the under 9 to under 11, but they split it. They
scrapped it.
Yeah,
finished it.
They say okay, and a lot of teams said, okay, we are that close to other countries and we have to bring out more experience on other side games. So it's just friendly matches. For us, it's very good because we are the closest club to the Netherlands, and we can use this very, very good. And we are even that close to other clubs in Germany, like Cologne, like Leverkusen, like Schalke, like Bochum, and for us it's pretty good that there's no league and we are not fixed on this dates to play them.
And then tell us about then how often do the under 9s train, for example, on the 10s and 11s?
They are going to train 3 times a week, but they are going on a journey on the weekend where they play tournaments or just make a small tournament like playing 3 or 4 other teams over 2 days. They are just having 2 times a week training session. So it's about to have not more than 5 days of football in the week at this age groups.
And then tell us about then a typical session. What's a typical session look like now for an under 9 player?
Typical session for under 9 player. Oh, this is very this is very hard to answer because the coaches are free, and we are just like we want to work with our kids in this younger age groups. Very in Germany we say polysportive, maybe polysportive. So we playing like basketball or like
like multi-sports.
Yeah, like this. And maybe we start like this one day, or maybe they start with dribbling like this, or we start with cognition. So they have a very high variation in their training sessions, and this is not a structure that we can say, okay, we always start with dribbling and then we go to 1v1 and then we go to 2v2 and then we go for the final game. So
what about what sort of things, what are your desired outcomes though from a football perspective? You mentioned dribbling, 1v1s, 2v2s. What are the things you want the players to experience or achieve in the foundation phase? What do you want them to master?
So it's all about 1v1 and it's all about the dribbling, and this is the most thing we are going to work with the kids. And yeah, it's in this case it's not about, it's so we talk about it that we are a team and that we want to play together, but it's always about, okay, bring yourself in a good position to play a good 1v1, and this is your task when your teammate has a ball. So we just focus on the 1v1 in a very different situations, like when they come from the front, from the side, from the back, and try to bring it out at this age groups. And this
so,
is the most
so give us a typical, give us one of your favorite 1v1 sessions at under 9. What might that look like? And I'm interested, how would you structure the session? You've got 10 players. What would that look like with the 10 players? Talk us through that. Might be a challenge, but
yeah. It would be starting with a toolbox, like we're playing without any opponents in a free and open space where they can get a good control of the ball and get comfortable.
Yeah, I got it. It's good.
with the ball, and try to improve their feints.
Feints.
Try to improve their feints, and then we go over to the next task where we play 1v1 and have maybe 2 groups where they can be one time the attacker, one time the defender, and play it against each other, like on small goals or goals with the goalie. And after this we should make it maybe a bit bigger and play it with a transition form, like we're going to shoot on the goal before you. So you start by dribbling, make a feint in the free space and go for the goal, and after this another player joins in and plays a 1v1 with a defender, and then we go over that the player stays in who reaches the goal, and then we go on with the 1v1s. So after this, I guess the players will be ready for the final game. We can do it in a good time and in a good mood.
So, I mean, you talk about 1v1 there a lot. So was that a big part of the B+ course in Germany, the federation work, 1v1 coming out of there?
I guess it's even more. So they saw and realized that our players are good passing machines and that they are really good in reading a game and be a good player, but to receive the ball and don't know what to do is a big problem. And so it's always up to us in the academies to bring it out more and don't stop with it in the under 11. So this is the most important thing, I think. So when I get the under 12 for now in this year, I have to be focused on this basics and don't say, okay, they are ready with the 1v1 and for the next 10 years they don't have to learn it. They don't have to learn anything about it. So the pitch will be a bit bigger now, and so for us it's important that the Football Association is putting a focus on this.
It's interesting because you talk there about unopposed work and opposed work, working away, individually with the ball away from the game, and then individual stuff. And it's also, I mean, as you know, and most academies around the world are working like this. But there is a debate in England or social media. Some people maybe with the coaches who haven't worked in academy football, or some academics who argue everything should be opposed or in big formatted games because you get more decision making. Do you have this conversation in Germany, or is that is there a debate about that?
The talk about decision making.
Well, I mean, they talk about not working unopposed. So rather than working individually with the ball, everything should be in a game, because game-based coaching, has more decision-making. Obviously, I'm being devil's advocate, so I don't agree with that. And as you know, most academies don't work that way. Is there a similar debate in Germany?
Yeah, it has been a debate. So I guess this is what I said. So we should watch out more the individual player and bring out what are his strengths and weaknesses. So maybe not weakness but potentials. So and try to help it on a technique way. And when we can make him better at this, then we can talk about the game based. And it's always up to us to work on these basics and put the basics in the front line and not always in the background. So just saying, okay, if they know what the game is all about and you can read the game, then we have good players. So they don't ignore the technique. So for me, it's very important to be on this point that we can say we have to work on this basic and we have to work on this technique 1v1 decision making first.
Interesting. And then tell us about, then you mentioned you're playing in Holland and Belgium. Is there any difference between the sort of players or the football cultures in those two countries? Is there a different coaching methodology? I mean, do you see the players and think, oh, they're a little bit different from our players, or that sort of thing?
They are, and I don't say it. With a smile on my face. Even I laugh, because they are technique based much more better than our players. And
oh, really?
Yes, they are. So it's always hard for us because we focus on this topic very intense. So and come over to Holland and Belgium and see those players who are even way better than our players and don't have any problems to find a solution in every space, in every situation. And this is always what we say, that this is our goal to achieve, that we have players like the Belgium and the Netherlands players, which are technique based, good like them. So
why do you think that is then? Why do you think they're better, or they're different?
Nah, I don't know.
That's the $1 million question.
If I would know, I'm
you'd be a rich man.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, my experience, my coaching philosophy is no secret. I'm very much, the Cova based, similar 1v1 and ball mastery. And I've been lucky to visit Ajax many times. And, I've seen the individual technique and the basis of the training there, lots of unopposed work and 1v1 and detailed stuff, similar to what you're talking about. Maybe they just have a bigger catchment area, bigger recruitment area. I remember speaking to one of the Ajax head of recruitments and a tournament once, and he was talking about the boys at Anderlecht and how they had lots of inner city areas and they had the natural individual brilliance from those, those cages and stuff. And then they try and harness that and improve that, maybe, so it can be a challenge. I mean, when you play Ajax, maybe they have more than 10 players, right? They must have, I think they have two groups of like 20 sort of players.
They have much more, and their recruitment will be even much better than ours because they have a bigger city. Mönchengladbach is a very small town, and we are in a big rivalry with other clubs like Cologne, like Dortmund, like Schalke, like Leverkusen. This is the disadvantage of our position in the west of Germany. I don't know, but the question we asked ourselves is, what can we do more than have a ball on every foot every single minute at the training session and go for very individualized with our players like we do. So maybe it's kind of talent, or maybe it's kind of other types of homework they are giving the players. So maybe we work with this topic too less, and they do it more than we do. But I guess we have so many offers for our players to improve their skills in the 1v1 and in their basics of technique, that this difference between our players and the players in Belgium and Netherlands should not be that big. So it's a good question. I don't know.
And then you talked about the coaches having freedom so they can do it. I mean, what is there a curriculum at the club, or how do you just, is there any sort of way do the coaches work to a guide? Is there different themes on different nights? Tell us a little bit about that, how the planning process works.
Yeah, they are free in their training session, and they are free in the periodization of the year. But we have, like in Germany, we say building blocks, like for age group, and we are free when we do it. So when we want to do it with the team in the season, over the season, and maybe it's better to start with this, and then you have a team. It's better to start with another topic. So this curriculum is there. It is here in our club, and it's a big fixture. But the coaches are free when they do this, and how to do it in their training session.
Interesting. And then how do you evaluate the players? How do you measure the success, and how does retain and release work?
Measuring players, is a topic we want to talk about at our academy at the start of the new season. We just know it's hard to say. I measure my own work on how I develop the player, and I cannot measure the player on we don't have courses like, okay, at the first time of the season you go and pass to the wall 5 times, and at the end of the season you have to pass to the wall 7 times. It's like we try to find out what his so we try to find out what the whole development on his personality and his way of playing football is about, and try to talk about at the mid-time of the season, and try to reach out this goals which we set on the start of the season at the end of the season. But we don't have any things to measure it like data.
I mean, it's difficult, because I've had this discussion a lot as well, and it's very difficult to measure anything in football, isn't it? Because there can be so many variations or different things. As some players are good on one day, not good on another day. Young players up and down. It's almost impossible, isn't it? And it just comes down to coaches' observations, or unfortunately sometimes opinions. It's an opinions-based game, isn't it? Player A is good, or player B maybe he's not good enough, isn't it? It's very tricky. And I'm interested. So, if a player signs at under 9, you make a decision every year, or is it a 1-year contract, or how often do you have to decide if the player is going to re-sign or not re-sign?
So we don't work with a contract like this, but we say we have a 2-year agreement for every player who joins the academy. If we have a player who has, after the first year, very big problems, and we cannot give him the time he needs to develop on the pitch, we go in a talk with the parents and with the player, and say very open that this will be a tough season next year for him, and the normal case is about 2-year agreement.
Interesting. So then tell us a little bit, Ben, then we'll work with the 12s and 13s. Tell us a little bit about that. What was that like for yourself, the transition from working with the foundation phase to working with the older players? And tell us a little bit about then, what were the challenges around that, and generally what your sort of stuff you're delivering?
Yeah, it's the most thing you have to think about is the puberty.
Yeah.
So you don't train with the kids, you have kind of teenagers, and the kids you train in the under 11, they are like, for sure, Mr. Schoepp, yes, I'm happy. And then you go to the under 12 and they like, what you want me to test? What is this? Yeah. And this is the biggest difference, I guess. And
How many players will you have in the 12s and 13s? What are the squad sizes? Is it similar? 10, still around 10 players? No, we can't. You need to play 11v11, right? I imagine.
no, it's about it depends on the age group, because in the under 12 you just play 9v9 or
Right.
smaller, and in the under 13 you play 9v9 but even bigger, so you need more. So, and it's about 12 to 15 players, I guess. So
And when do you start playing 11v11 in Germany?
when we start,
Yeah, what age group?
at the second time of the season of the under 13.
Okay, interesting. So then you're now coaching. You've moved from 7v7 to 9v9 and 11v11. Tell us a bit then about what does that look like then in your delivery? What sort of things? What's the difference between what you're delivering in the 12s and 13s to the 9s, 10s, and 11s?
Yeah, the biggest challenge for me was to not lose the view on the single player, because you think as a coach, okay, 9v9 was for the small kids, and now we are 9v9, and this will be much more tactical, and you have to think about building up a game, and maybe set pieces will play a role. So it's nothing about this. It's always about thinking about what the single player needs, and even the pitch is bigger. Your task as a coach and my task is to bring out the single player and develop the single player and find his role in a bigger place, in a bigger pitch, and even in a team with more players. And this was the biggest challenge for me. And I guess for now I do it much better than at the beginning, and I have a better view on the single player. Even the pitch is a bit bigger than at the in the foundation phase. And yes, this was tough for me to learn.
And tell us a bit then. I mean, how often do the 12s and 13s train? Is it still 3 days a week and then the games, or?
We have 3, maybe 4 times a week training session. In the under 13 you have 4 times a week, and under 12 is about 3, maybe 4 times.
So why is it maybe? What decides if they're going to train the 4th time or not? Where's the variation come from?
Yeah, it depends on the situation in the team, because in the under 12 you play much more tournaments, and you have the most kids of our club are changing schools. So like they go for the they leave the primary school and go for the next school, and this is a challenge. They don't even do it very easily. So we have to watch out at the coaches, don't make too much training session at that time, so that we don't say, okay, you have to transition at the school and at the football at the same time, and making just a progress and doing the 4th training session a bit further on in the season.
And tell us about the structure of your week. So the 3 sessions or 4 sessions you do, what are you coaching on each night? Is there different themes on each night, and how do you approach that? Is there like a technical cycle within the club or something like that?
We start every Monday with the small groups that we put the players in potential groups. Like we say, okay, you go with your second foot, and you go for the first touch like this, and and then we go on by 2v1 situations the whole time on the Monday, just staying in a very small team group of players. And on the Wednesday we always have the technique training session with the higher or younger age group. And the third day, the Thursday, is about like playing in a 4v4 or 5v5 sessions like this, because I guess this is even the reason that the boys are always asking for this. This is the reason why they play football. They want to play with more teammates and not just the 1v1 and not just the 2v1. They like to play with 5 or 6 players and go for the big goal, and want to shoot on the goal, and not just always about, okay, I go 1v1. If this would be the main goal of the football player, of the football kid, I guess they would be to the tennis, and they would be a tennis player.
Tell us about then. You said, like, they might work on the weak foot or the first touch. What do those practices look like?
It's always about to bring them in a situation with a high variation again. So we say, okay, you can do this not without an opponent. You have to bring out a second player or a third player, that you do it under pressure and very game related, like situations from the game, and even simple and with not that high pressure, but it's always about to try to put these groups of players together and work on their individuals. So we are 3 coaches in the team, and we are very happy to make then 3 groups, and can work with like maybe 3 or 4 kids in a group for 20 or 30 minutes, and it's very effective.
Interesting. And then what about the technical night then? What sort of practices are you doing there? The Wednesday.
This is just doing we start with a toolbox, go with the juggling the ball, like stuff like this, ball control, like curve training, stuff like this. And then we have 2 1v1s, 2 1v1s. Then they switch after a few minutes, and then we go for a game, and that's it. It's just for the kids, and we have the games are very small sided, that they have a very high repetition of the ball, and so this is very simple, very individual. We do it with 2 teams together, and have a lot of coaches around, so you can you have a very good view on the individual player. And then
I'm assuming the Thursday, when you're doing the game stuff, does that where you do your tactical elements and for looking at the game on the weekend, or is it free play? I mean, there must be some sort of elements of possession and team shape and stuff when you're doing it through the week, or where do you coach that?
Yeah, tactical sounds a bit hard to me. In my team, we call it just a few principles, that we know what to do when the opponent has the ball, or when we have the ball, that we make a build up with a +2, or we attack every what is it in English? Every return pass. So we go for the return pass, and we are staying in a compact.
So when do you teach these principles? When do you go over them? Do you know?
This is the Thursday.
Thursday. So within
the
those
last day of the week when we go to the game, just a bit bigger.
And what formation do you like to play at 9v9?
Maybe other coaches will listen to this, so I
okay, it's a secret. Also, one asking, there's no. Do you mean a lot?
4-1-2-1.
Okay, 4-1-2-1.
Yeah.
Okay, so like a box, play like a box in the field.
Yeah, it's a bit better to develop the back 4 for the 11v11 side.
Yeah. And so you're getting your fullbacks to get your width. So lots of up and down with your fullbacks, I imagine. But
the pitch is not that long, so we play from box to box. So
and what about the 11v11? What's the club? Is it? Do you have your format? Are you free to do whatever formation you like? Or does the club have a preferred formation?
We are free in the formation, but it's just even about the principles, and we just want to have we don't say, okay, we want the player for position number 5 or position number 6. We just want to have the big talents in our club. And when we have 2 players which are playing a quite similar position, then then we have the task to find a formation which is good for every single player. So bring out their individual skills. We know, okay, how much higher we get the players, how higher they get. It's important to bring a good structure and a good way of playing in the team. But at first, up to under 14, it's always about to have the biggest talents in our club, and then we say, then we can look what the best formation for this players is about.
And you talked about the foundation phase in terms of the games, and winning is not important. What about at the 12s and 13s? You playing a competitive league with those age groups, and how important is winning on the weekend?
Winning is important to bring out a winning mentality. So it's not about winning every single game. For me as a coach, I just want to win everything, but I don't want to win anything to say, okay, I win anything, but I have this winning mentality inside me. And this is what we want to bring out for the boys. And this is what the boys have to learn, that a defeat is not like, okay, we go home, have some fun tonight, and on Monday, the next week starts and everything is fine. It's just about, okay, creating this winning mentality, and you can create it the best way when you win games, and and live it with your whole with your whole with your whole mind, and you have just a winning mindset. And the boys see it. And
well, who are your local rivals? Who are the biggest club rivals? The biggest club, who are the closest one? Like at Arsenal, we have Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United. Who's your local biggest rival?
We stay in a competition with Dortmund, with Schalke, with Leverkusen, Cologne, and
who's the club's biggest rival though?
I cannot say this.
Oh, you have
one age group. Dortmund is on the top, then Leverkusen.
But I mean, with the first team, who's the first team?
It's traditional.
So when you're playing Cologne, what's that like for you and the boys? Is there added competition, added desire to win, or is it just another game?
So as I told you, I was a kid when I went to the stadium, and for me, Cologne is always a special game. And this is one of the first things I tell my boys, that Cologne is a very special game, and it's a derby, and we always want to win. Maybe we want to win a bit more against Cologne as against Leverkusen. So for me, it's important, and the boys have to learn that this game is important for the club, and they have to grow up with the club and the identity of the club, and they know. And always it's nice to make a circle after the game and sing together derby winner. This is a good feeling.
Nice. And tell us a bit about then the older age groups. I mean, we have something in England called day release, where children come out of school for one day a week and they train more at the club. Do you have this at Germany? When do the players start training more than 3 or 4 days a week?
Yeah, we have a boarding school at the academy. So they go for partner schools from us. We don't have an own school. They just stay here, sleep here, and eat. And they have 2 more training sessions in the morning. Just the boys who are living in the boarding school. Maybe a few more who are very close to the academy, who can go on their own to us, and they are brought back. They are bringing back with the bus to the schools after.
What age do they start at the boarding school?
They start with the under 15.
Right. And how many children, how many players will you have in the boarding school?
I guess for the moment 23. So the boarding school is made for 24, but one room is empty at the moment.
Right, interesting. And then so that's all age groups from 15 till what age group? How many age groups is that? And
under 15 up to under 19.
So there's 23 players for all those age groups.
Yeah, it's the most of the age group, the most age group is under 17, and I guess then under 19.
And then how do they select who goes into the boarding school?
Yeah, it's about to tell the boys that the most important thing will be the school, and they have to understand that this is not your free ticket to become a pro player. It's just about to have a free ticket for your plan B. So be ready to so you are ready and have much more time and don't have to travel that much, that you need 1 or 2 hours to the training academy, to the training area. So you can stay at the boarding school and have 1 minute to the pitch, and you have 5 minutes to school. So you are, in this case, you have more time for working for school. And this is the reason we tell our boys that this is the most important thing, and to see about this.
Interesting. And then tell us a bit about the federation. When did players start going to have some interaction with the federation? What age group did the German FA start getting players in for the teams?
They start with the under 15, and have the first games, the first journeys with the Federal Association is starting at the end of under 14.
Right, interesting. And then what about yourself? How do you keep yourself how do you upskill yourself and keep yourself at the forefront of the game yourself, in terms of how do you keep educating yourself with the modern game?
I read, and I guess the most important thing, and even the most so the best thing is to network and talk with other coaches, and be that open-minded, and not that, okay, my opinion and my way of thinking of the game is the best one. So I guess this quote of, I don't know who said it, a coach is a lifelong learning guy, or lifelong learning.
Yeah, lifelong learner. Yeah,
Lifelong learner. I guess this is really true, and you have to be open-minded and not be that I don't want to talk with him and I have a secret. And it's about to talk with other coaches, and it's about open to the scientists, to the science, to read out things, and educate yourself.
And what about, have you had many interactions with English academies or English teams from academies?
During COVID, we had a lot of coaches sessions with other coaches from other academies, and this contacts I kept, and I always have some phone calls with them, and then we talk about our teams, and then we talk about periodization, or we make a Zoom call and put out some topic and put it on the wall and talk about it for an hour. This is very effective, I guess, and for me it's a big help, and a good way to develop myself.
And what are your own aspirations in the game? What are your own ambitions?
Getting better in that way that I can say my players will be happy that they had me as a coach, and to get better in developing the single player on the football side, as the same side on the personality, and do this not just in the age group under 12, under 13, just in the higher age groups in the same good way as I do it today.
Interesting. And what would your advice be to a young coach who's starting up and they want to have a career in the game like yourself?
Yeah, you need to stay humble. You need to be very open-minded, and yeah, just try to network, try to talk to other coaches, try to read as much as you can, and always improve yourself. Don't be that guy who is or that girl, don't be that person who is happy with satisfied with the way it is. Just try to improve, try to get better, and yeah, how older you get, the wiser you get. So just think about this.
What about a young player who's, might be a very good young player or a parent of a young player?
Relax. Relax to the parents. Parent relax and just let the kids play, and the kids just have fun, enjoy. Looking for a coach, looking for a team where you feel good, where you have a good atmosphere, where you can love the game, and yeah, the rest will come from itself.
And the $1 million question finally is that who do you think is going to win the World Cup in Qatar?
No,
I noticed Germany hasn't come out of your mouth straight away.
because of this allocation, I would say Qatar's winning. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I really don't know. Maybe I would say Germany. Yes, I guess we will have a good team and we will have a good team mood, and this could help us. So the German teams have been on a good level at the mid-season, and the World Cup will be at the mid-season. Maybe this could be our advantage.
Well, I'd wish you luck, but obviously I'd rather England win, so we'll have to agree to disagree on that one.
Okay, we talk about it.
Yeah, Oliver, thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's been fantastic. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.